Hey everyone, Nito King back with a bit more Rayman. You can see we've come a long way, and it's time for the second level, Anguish Lagoon. And here we are. Nice happy music and dancing flowers, same as always. And enemies. Not a whole lot I can do to cross the water, so I'm going to have to ride on this plum. It really doesn't look like a plum. And up there you can almost see that hook. Once I've got the grapple ability, I'll be able to grab it. But for right now it's useless, and there's no way I can get up to grab those tings. So instead, on with the level. Wait a second, I've got an idea. Just crazy enough to work. There's a plum right over there. And that'll get me up to those tings. Where'd it go? Alright, I'm gonna have to go up and get another one. Yeah, that wasn't so hard, was it? Now all I gotta do is move it over to the left so I can use it as a step. And not touch the arrow sign, because that would take me out of the level. And I just talked over the ding. That's our first cage. True, it's easier to get that if I come back with the grapple ability, but I want to get all the cages that I can right now. That line of tings indicates that there's a secret and very near death. And a one-up that I'm quite sure wasn't in the PC version. Seems like the PlayStation version just throws these one-ups at you left and right. I think the PC version might actually have been tougher. Kill that guy one last time, and finally move on with this level. And nothing to the right. Cage number 3. And more bullets out of nowhere. Not really sure why I did a little breakdance there. And cage number 4. It's like they're not even trying to hide these things. And this is why the level seems even shorter than it is. This particular scene only appears once. And there's our boss. That's Mosquito. And he's actually the boss of the entire Dream Forest, but right now we only have to fight a weaker version of him. If you know his pattern, he's incredibly easy. If you don't, he's only mostly easy. And that's it. He's finished. And now we're all pally. I have no idea why that happens. But here we go, on to the second half of the level. We ride Mosquito through an auto-scrolling area with falling spikes. And one cage. And when you replay the levels, you only have to replay the parts that have cages in them, but even if you've gotten all the cages, you still have to replay that part. Or at least that's the way it worked in the PC version. It might or might not work that way in this one. So they put a cage there, really easy to grab, just so you have to do this when you replay. Otherwise, all 5 of the other cages are back in the first scene. So I'll have to come back here and play through the whole thing just to get the one cage that required the grapple. Now things speed up a little bit, and I am not using any time effects at this part of the game. It actually goes this fast. Not that it affects anything in any way. and then they freeze frame before they actually do the high five, which I find disappointing. But hey, Batilla the Fairy is here to give us another power. And another single line of blue dialogue for no reason. Now I'm a party animal because I can hang. No, really, it means this. Yeah, I can grab the edges of ledges and pull myself up. It's actually one of the most useful powers in the game, aside from, say, the fist. And that's it. That's the whole level. And if I wanted to, I could go on to Bandland, the second world, but I don't hate myself quite that much. Instead, I'm going to do the Swamps of Forgetfulness, but first to save. Just to ensure that if I do happen to screw up in the Swamps of Forgetfulness, that I'll just have to proceed with a video and let you guys see my failure. Now this is Rayman. He lost his clothes on that branch somehow or other. And when I knock it down, he gives me a present. And again, in the PC version, there's a voice clipper. He goes, "Take this magic seed!" Here's what it does. Grows little flower ledges. And of course, the grab move that I just got is vital to getting through this area. As I try to escape the rising water by climbing on my own flowers. And I gotta fight my way past more of these guys with guns, and another cage right out in the open. If you're really slow, you might not have time to get it, but it's really easy. And another one. For some reason, I get the feeling that in the PC version there was only one cage there, and the second one appears a little later in the level. But I'd have to play more of it to remember, and that's really annoying to deal with. So just keep climbing up on these swinging plums. Rather dramatic music, I think. And with good timing, you can smack that guy before he has a chance to take a second shot, which gives you enough time to go back and grab this hidden one up. Of course, there's an ability much later in the game that helps you a bit with getting that, but I don't want to come back here just for that. This area is a lot of fun, although these jumps, I think, are harder than they look. Particularly when these guys have plums on their heads, it's not as easy to land on them properly. And then I always jump back to the left, killing them along the way, because I'm convinced in the PC version there was something that appeared if you landed on that leftmost ledge, and I think that was the second cage. But again, only one way to find out, and I'm not putting in the effort right now. So you can take the top path here, knock the plum on top of the guy's head, and ride him across the top of the anti-tune so you don't get hit, which also lets you grab that speed power-up. Or you can take the bottom path and kill them all. Either way. And here it's time to do something a little counterintuitive. That stretch of water to the left is easy to cross without using the plum, but I'm going to ride it across anyway. And there's cage number 3. That's probably the easiest one to miss in the level, which is kinda sad. And over to the right, I'd have to cross that falling flower platform in order to get to a platform that's got anti-tunes under it, which would hit me and knock me right into the water. I really don't want to have to deal with any of that. So I'll just go far enough to reset the plum, and take that across instead. Couple tries, and there we go. The safe way to cross. And now there's a plum up there, which I can use to get to cage number 4, if I didn't screw up and knock it into the water. And that was incredibly close. But I gotta reset this plum and do the whole thing again from the start. This time, I managed to get it, and I don't even get off the plum again, because I don't want to have to do all that a third time. Cage number 4. Easy to see, not the most intuitive thing to get to. But again, this whole thing about knocking plums into the water and riding on them is just the way Dream Forest works. And now, even more creativity. Obviously, the first thing you're supposed to do here is knock the plum off the vine and ride it across those spikes to the right, but if you climb up and use the vine, there's hidden cage number 5. And now I gotta ride on the plum. And I love this. That jump is really easy to make if you know it's coming, and I don't have the 10 tings. And to be honest, I didn't realize that those platforms would appear there, but my reflexes got the better of me and I managed to make the climb. I always thought that you needed a different power to get to this cage, but you don't. And that's the 6th cage. That's the entire level finished. I never have to come back here again. I might, if you guys want to see the Ting Magician's game. Otherwise, next time I will be proceeding to the final level of the Dream Forest, Mosquito's Nest, and fighting Mosquito for keeps this time. Stay tuned.